Shalom, all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well through the scriptures. Peace and hope for elect. The title of this lesson will be along the lines of why don't Christians or why don't Christianity rebuke those people over there in the Holy Land? Why don't they get on them? Why don't they critique or criticize them? All right. And this is an article, Washington Report on Middle Eastern Affairs, right? It says the Scofield Bible, the book that made that word of Americans evangelical Christians. Now, if you know what that Z word is, that's basically those ish people and their methodology of getting the Holy Land and basically ruling. All right, so they basically infiltrated different spaces of thought. All right, because it's one thing to just impose your will on somebody. See, they basically discovered that when you oppose your will on people, then they eventually lift up and rise up. But if you do it in subtle ways, if you do it in ways where it doesn't look like you're imposing your will, all right, then you basically can rule. So with that scripture, let's grab what is Isaiah 47. Isaiah 47 and 3, it says, thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yeah, thy shame shall be seen. Right. So they're getting exposed about everything. When you're naked, you're exposed. You can't hide. You know how you try to cover up. It don't work because you exposed. All right. That's the situation they're in now. They're being exposed. All right. They're naked and they trying to cover up, but you can't. All right. Your hands don't do a good enough job. It says, I will take vengeance and I will not meet thee as a man. So the Lord going to pay you back for that. When Yahweh shall return, the Son of the Most High going to come back and personally, deal you a death blow. All right. I'm going to jump down. All right. Verse 10, it says, for thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Thou hast said, none seeth me. See, the secrecy, all right, behind the shadows, infiltrating and the puppet master, all right. You just see the puppets. You don't see the puppeteer, the guy behind making them move, all right. The Wizard of Oz, if you will. It says, thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. See, they got all this wicked, evil knowledge to manipulate and control people and get people to do what they want. And it's so good to the point that people don't even know that they are doing their will. It's just like like the Most High. See, everything obeys the Most High's will, whether it's righteous or whether it's wicked. And they are liking themselves to be God. All right. They got people obeying their will without even you doing drugs, you eating fast food. OK, you got aspirations to be a rapper. They put that on you. All right. They manipulated your dreams through the media and through the food system and through the idiot box, which the idiot box used to be the TV. Now it's the TV, the internet and the phone. OK. And they seek these things out. All right. Jump to this here. This is Psalm 64 and 6. They search out iniquities. They seek and search things out. How can we make these people more stupid? How can we make them more sick? How can we make them more obedient? How can we make them more without willpower, without the will to resist. They accomplished a diligent search. Oh yeah, they put millions and billions of dollars into it. Both the inward thought of every one of them and the heart is deep. So you're not dealing with no small fries when it comes to wickedness. It says, thy wisdom and thy knowledge have perverted thee, and thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me. So back to the article. Okay, it says, New Schofield Bible. And I had one of these Schofield Bibles. I liked it. All right. It had nice precepts in it, you know. A lot of the precepts was on point, but check it out. It says, since it was first published in 1909, the Schofield Reference Bible has made uncompromising Z's out of tens of millions of Americans. When John Hagee, the founder of Christians United for Israel, said that 50 million evangelical Bible-believing Christians unite with 5 million American Jays standing together on behalf of Israel. It was the Schofield Bible that he was talking about. Although the Schofield Reference Bible contains the text of the King James Authorized Version, it is not the traditional Protestant Bible, but Cyrus I. Schofield's annotated commentary that's problematic. See, it's the commentary. And especially, and, you know, when you read the Bible, the commentary can help. All right. But in modern day Christian church and Christian thought, you got too many of those so-called Christians relying on commentary and relying on modern language than relying on the true text. See, when King James did the King James Authorized Version is him commissioning scholars to directly translate the Bible from the Greek and the Hebrew and to diligently compare it with the translations before it to get the most proper, well-rounded understanding of the text. That was the whole purpose. When you read the foreword of the Bible, of the King James Bible, it even apologized. It said, please forgive us in certain areas where we may come up short. Basically saying we did our best, understanding the notion that certain things may get lost in translation. So you have to go back, as we do here, as the Israelites do. All right. Under our elders and teachers, the great millstone, we go into the words and we look up the words, all right, to get the proper context. Because one Hebrew word can have 3 or 4 varying contexts. So the word context mean with the script. So you got to see how the word fits the script, the same way they teach you in English. All right. So it says, like I was saying, many, so-called Christians, they rely more on commentary. All right. It says, more than any other factor, it is Schofield's notes that have induced generations of American evangelicals to believe that the Most High demands their uncritical support for the modern state of Israel, blessing Israel, cursing his critics. Central to Christian Z's belief is Schofield's commentary, italicized below, on Genesis 12:3. I will bless them that bless thee, in fulfillment closely related to the next clause, and curse him that curseth thee. Wonderfully fulfilled in the history of the dispersion, it has invariably fared ill with the people who have persecuted the J, well with those who have protected him. The future will still more remarkably prove this principle. Drawing on Schofield's rather tendentious interpretation, Hagee claims the man or nation that lifts a voice or hand against Israel invites the wrath of God. Well, in actuality, that's true, but that's not the proper context. Because first of all, that's true for the true children of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, which are the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans. All right. And you can't disprove it. I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, the whole chapter Okay. And then it says what? When you read verse 46, it says, these curses shall be a sign and a wonder on thee and thy seed forever. Meaning what? That word sign means proof. So the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, out of all the various races on earth, we are at the bottom. And that is proof that we are children of the Most High, because he said he would do that for our disobedience to him. And at the same time we at the bottom, it's without a shadow of a doubt, we are still the best at every field. Why? How can that be so? All right, because it's evident that we are the children of the Most High. All right, and they that's why they go so far to keep us down. All right, because their studies, this is their studies. I'm not saying that because I'm an Israelite, Tawada to the Most High, I'm one, but their own studies conclude that we're superior in intelligence and not just physical. They give us the physical, but in intelligence and the spirituality as well. Tucker Carlson did something on it. They used to have something called the Giselle schedule in the 60s and 70s, which concluded that so-called Negro babies and so-called white babies born the same age, the so-called Negro baby was 6 months ahead. You know, and then they always refute their own findings. Oh, well, these are invalid studies now. Yeah. That's why you go so far to inject them when they're born. You just keep injecting them, have them living, in worse conditions, worse food options, But that's what it is. Now, when you read Jeremiah, what is that? Let me see. Maybe it's 16. No, it's 30. Or 31. Jeremiah 30 and 16. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured. And we've been devoured by the whole world. All right. In some way, shape, or form, these other heathens have profited off our downfall. All right. Esau, Edom, the Edomites, so-called white nations, they spearheaded it, with the Z's or the J's being the very tip of that spear. All right. They made the most. They owned the most slaves. When you actually go into it, they own most slaves than anybody. It says, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. Yeah. So basically, it's a trading of places. All right. See, we went into a great captivity. All right. You talking about the Israelites? You talking about the scripture speaks about how we will become a large and huge nation as the sand of the sea and as the stars of heaven. You talking about, man, the Israelites might be a third of the whole population of the earth. Who knows? The way that Israel slang seed, because they did when you factor in everything that happens on earth, right? When you factor in how they did the Native Americans, right? Slaughtered them, disease riddled, trail of tears. When you factor in the so-called Negroes from the West Coast dying, disease too, was cramped up in those ships, When you factor in all the variables that was killing our people by the millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions, we still as a whole had a positive birth rate. Now, can you imagine that? With everything happening, you still producing more children than people that are dying. And it take 9 months to have a baby. All right. And it's not, and this was before the Angola, this was before the sex farms and all of that, because this same thing was true with the native tribes too. And many so-called natives wouldn't even reproduce because they had the notion like, I don't want to bring kids into this. But even with all those variables, the birth rate